All right, before we get the show started, I just wanted to give a quick announcement about our Patreon, specifically as it concerns Bloodsport Season 2. So you may know that we're going to be doing an upcoming Bloodsport this summer. We're going to be pulling names for that on May 1st. The only way you can get into the lottery for that would be to be an active patron. You can do so by signing up with us at any level. Patreon.com/trivialitypodcast will get you automatically entered for that. Again, we're going to be pulling names May 1st. So if you are interested in being on our Bloodsport and getting some Patreon perks, this is an additional one. Do so before then. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the show where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Matt and I will be hosting today. Joining me in the studio, as always, is Neal. Neal, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. Did a little work today on the day off with some snow, but got a lot accomplished, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm ignoring our other co-hosts so we can get a little Matt and Neal time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the people wanted to get.
Get down to the brass tacks, as they say.
And I guess also joining us in the studio is Jeff. Jeff, how are you doing today?
I am doing pretty well. I think the reason Matt shunned me is because I'm on day 3 of a 4-day weekend, and Matt works crazy hours all the time, 7 days a week.
Yep.
So he's not feeling very fond of me today.
Right, and another man who never takes a day off is Ken. Ken's not here today.
Took a day off.
He took today off. How sad.
Well, Ken took a day off, but we do have 2 special guests over Skype joining us today. Matt, why don't you tell us about them?
Yeah, first, we would love to introduce Beth, who is one of our Cruiserweight champions. We love all of our patron supporters. Beth, you've been on the show previously. Why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, I'm Beth. I'm a stay-at-home mom of a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
And I also work for Fit for Mom, which is a pre- and postnatal fitness company for moms.
Yeah, but on your last appearance, you just had 1 child, so you've increased your production.
Congratulations.
She's doubled the amount of children.
doubled the amount of children I have.
Did you keep your promise that one of them would be Ken, Matt, Neal, or Jeff? One of the names?
No.
Okay.
His name is Hugo.
That's a cool name.
That's a good name, too, yeah.
Hugo's a very cool name.
Acceptable. You can keep it.
Yeah.
It's also fair that you shouldn't have to make that decision under duress. So.
She was in the sweat lodge.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was a really bad day. I think everybody was struggling with that one.
One of the last really hot days in September. I think that was about right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. And playing with Beth today will be Theo from the Freaky Franchise podcast. If you remember one of our Halloween episodes, we had you guys on to asking some questions. Theo, how you doing today?
I'm great. I'm really excited to be here. I'm not particularly good at trivia, but we'll see how it goes. I really like your show.
Well, it's not important on a trivia show. It's like secondary.
None of us are really that good either. But well, your show. I mean, you have your own show, and there is some great trivia in it as far as horror movies are concerned. You just did a great one about Wes Craven's New Nightmare. But why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your show?
So my show is called Freaky Franchise. My sister and I watch horror movie franchises all the way through, movie by movie, so we see the best and the worst of what the genre has to offer. And it's really fun. We've ended up learning a lot. Most people watch like the first movie in the franchise, and sometimes it's worth it to keep going, and sometimes it's not, but it's always entertaining.
See The Matrix.
Those are all good.
Well, Ken is obsessed with The Matrix. Yeah. Well, hopefully we're going to have some franchise offshoots with a cast of young faces that people will follow. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe at some point.
Right. If this episode goes well, we could have a sequel maybe. We'll see.
Might have a sequel.
So facing them today will be Neal and Jeff. You guys are teaming up. Any ideas on a team name for you guys?
Yeah, what are you thinking, Jeff? We heard what the other team's name is, which we'll get to in a second, but what are you thinking? What are you feeling right now?
They have not heard yet. We're keeping it a secret.
Well, we're keeping it a secret.
It's under wraps. So.
What are you thinking here? How are you feeling overall?
I don't know. I'm not really feeling anything right now.
You're not?
No.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna be comfortably numb.
There we go.
There we go.
I like it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Beth and Theo, we both noticed that you are both gingers, right? And
I think that's the way to politically correctly say that.
Yeah, that's fine. And we'll cut it out if it's not. We'll poll our audience and see how that goes. We asked you guys to kind of just shout out random words. We heard pumpkin, so you are the Ginger Pumpkins. And Jeff has some split allegiances here.
Yes.
Yeah, Jeff might help you out. We'll see, because he is also in that camp.
All right. Well, I wrote a bunch of silly questions. You guys ready to play the game?
Yeah.
All right. Before that, we should probably figure out how to play the game, and I'm going to send it over to the rules guy.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Yeah, all right, pretty good.
Well, yeah, standard, right?
Standard?
Just a little refresher is good sometimes.
Yeah, got to make sure everyone knows how the game is played.
All right. You guys ready for question 1?
Yes.
Ready.
All right. In what city would you find the stadium delightfully nicknamed the Juice Box? It's had a slightly longer shelf life than its previous name, Enron Field.
Okay, so
Is that
Enron.
Tropicana Field?
Oh, because of the juice. Yeah, what team is that?
Well, it's fresh squeezed, right? Or
Yeah.
You said squeezed?
So Tropicana. Is it like the Marlins? No,
It's somewhere in Florida.
Marlins.
Are we starting with
Devil
baseball?
Rays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's baseball.
Yeah, that sounds right. I know it's not hockey. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's football.
Yeah, I think it's baseball. So it's either the Devil Rays, or are they the Devil Rays now, or just the Rays? I don't remember.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Let's just go Miami, because I know Matt likes the logo.
I do
Okay.
like the logo.
All right, so we'll go.
You like their logo?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we are locked in. Feel free to keep talking or wrap up, whatever you need to do.
Okay, we're locked in.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Starting with Beth and Theo, why don't you kind of give us a rundown of what you guys were thinking?
Neither of us are very familiar with sports.
Okay. That's a problem for
but
this game.
Beth
I apologize.
mentioned that she knew of a stadium that was Tropicana, which we felt like went with the Juice Box, and we figured Miami would probably be the most Tropicana-like city, so we went with Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a similar conversation. Jeff clued into the freshly squeezed orange juice. And so he said Tropicana, and we couldn't decide if it was maybe Miami or Tampa Bay. And just knowing that Matt likes the logo of the Miami Marlins, we just kind of threw a shot in the dark. So we went Miami.
All right. Well, Tropicana is in Tampa Bay, but you actually needed to be looking more towards Enron, which was based in Texas. Minute Maid Park is in Houston, Texas.
Oh, I forgot about Minute Maid.
Let's see, I thought Enron was in Texas. I didn't realize. Okay, Minute Maid.
Is that where the Astros play?
That is where the Astros play. Yep. It was called Enron for like 5 years, and then something happened. We don't know, and they had to change the name.
I'm sure there's a documentary or two about it.
Yeah. He's the smartest guys in this room. Jeff, good job. All right, question 2. This flower has come to be recognized as the official flower of National Women's Day, but wouldn't be out of place served with avocado toast either.
Okay, I ate avocado toast today.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what was on it real quick, because
Avocado?
avocado was definitely
Not
on
a
it.
flower.
Well, there's red pepper flakes I had. There was pickled onion. And then there was something was on it that I always get not on it because I don't know how to eat it. And I'm worried that I'm not going to eat it correctly. But it looks like almost a very thinly sliced piece of grapefruit, but it's not. But I doubt that's the answer.
Just talking about your avocado toast?
Yeah.
This is the
I
fanciest
mean, we all saw it
thing
on
I've
your
ever heard of.
Instagram, right?
Yeah, right.
Blast
Yeah,
the
I just
gram.
take pictures and I don't eat it. I don't know. I can't. Do you know of a flower maybe that
An edible
that,
flower?
yeah, that you would eat? I don't know.
Okay, so we were trying to think of what flour would go on avocado toast or with avocado toast. We talked about sunflowers because we thought maybe sunflower seeds, and then we started talking about edible flowers, and we talked about violets. But we ended up going with pansies because Theo said she just had a good feeling.
A feeling of some sort. I don't know if it's good.
She was hooked on a feeling.
All right, so you guys are going with pansies. Guys in the studio, what'd you guys have?
I just had avocado toast just a few hours ago, and I could not remember. Jeff and I couldn't figure it out, and I think at least what I ate was watermelon radish, which I don't think is correct. But just for the ability to say what in carnation, so we said carnation.
Both teams hung up on what you're eating with it, but it's really more of what you're drinking with it at brunch. It's a mimosa,
Oh, okay.
which is a flower, I learned.
A mimosa?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a flower.
Yes.
I did know that. It makes me feel glad that like other people aren't eating flowers on their avocado toast and I'm missing out.
Yeah, it's the new hip thing, apparently.
Yeah. Pile them right on. All right, no scores yet, and hopeful for question 3. Question 3. What is the Roman name for the Greek god Hera? I never read enough mythology to know if she finds the cheese to her macaroni.
Hera is Zeus's wife. Zeus is Jupiter.
Yep. Do you want to just go for the moon for the cheese reference?
Sure. Did you say planet specifically or no?
No.
I did not.
Okay, so yes, go moon. Okay.
You said moon?
Yep.
All right, fellas in the studio are locked in. Beth and Theo, what did you guys have?
So we pretty quickly came to the answer Juno.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in 8th grade, took the National Mythology exam, and we would study by playing Gods and Goddesses Go Fish, where we had to match the Greek and Roman names of gods and goddesses. So thank you to my 8th grade teacher for helping me get this question.
All right, guys.
We did not single out a Ellen Page film, but we did, for some reason, single out a Sam Rockwell vehicle directed by David Bowie's son, which we went with Moon.
Yes, you might have picked up the hint if I mentioned hamburger telephones, but the answer is Juno.
Yay!
On the board.
All right, question 4. In 1972, this cardiologist wrote a surprise best-selling hit, selling a revolution to housewives who could definitely not be the breadwinners in their family.
All right, so 1972, a cardiologist wrote a surprise hit. Makes me think of a book.
Is that Chicken Soup for
Chicken
the Soul?
Soup for the... Oh, yeah, what was the second part of the question was...
Not be the breadwinners in their family.
Oh, to not be the breadwinners in their family. Unless bread and soup.
I just sort of remember that being written by like a doctor or something.
That's fine.
weird,
So
but-
Chicken Soup for the Soul, is that what it would be called?
Yeah. That was the first one in the...
Just Chicken Soup for the Soul?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why didn't we could just guess the guy that you
The
or
guy's
are we
name?
guess? Yeah, are we guessing a book or the guy's name?
The guy's name.
Okay. We could just go with the
Okay,
guy.
yeah, I'll just go with so I work at a medical history museum, and I do not know who wrote this book, but I do know of one cardiologist who was publishing at the time named Sven Paulin. So we're going to go with that.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
We needed the doctor?
I guess we needed the doctor, but you could say the doctor's name. It's a very long name that we wrote down.
Is it? It's Chicken Soup for the Soul?
Dr. Chicken Soup for the Soul is not the doctor I was looking for. Yes, these housewives would not be breadwinners because they would not be having any bread or any carbs because they'd be following the Atkins diet. That's Dr. James Atkins.
Oh,
You and your diet puns and
I know.
jokes.
I figured that out.
You guys got to know I'm on that keto.
Tongue in cheek.
All right, question 5 is our listener submitted question. This question comes from Tom Spetzer, so thank you, Tom. So, which villain did Michael Shannon play in the 2013 movie The Man of Steel?
Okay, we're locked in.
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh,
I have not seen it. I know who Michael Shannon is.
I think I know who Michael Shannon is.
He's the creepy detective guy from Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
But I never saw the Man of Steel.
Do you want to just go with Lex Luthor since we can't think
Yeah,
of
I
it
have-
else?
Yeah, I have another one on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think what it is. So we'll just go with Lex Luthor.
okay, locking in with Lex Luthor. Comfortably numb.
Well, this is nice that it actually comes full circle because we actually met Theo's dad in a comic book
Yeah.
shop in Salem, Massachusetts, and that's how he gave us their card, and that's how we reached out. So thank you to Theo's dad and his comic book knowledge. But this character usually says my name in a way when he goes Neal before Zod, so General Zod.
General Zod is correct.
That was the one I had on the tip of my tongue that I couldn't think of.
All right, question 6. This children's toy originally started out as a wallpaper cleaner. Not sure how many colors it came in at that point, though.
Okay.
Oh, we're locked
I know
in?
it.
Cool.
You're going to lock in?
So they're locked in.
I believe this
Yeah, we're
is
locked.
Silly Putty.
Oh, that makes sense. Because you used to do the thing with the newspaper and like put it on the...
Yeah, and it'll take the ink off or
Yeah,
whatever.
it takes the ink and the picture off. Okay, I'm good with that if you want to go with Silly Putty.
All right, we're going to go with Silly Putty.
Because you're my silly buddy.
Oh, interesting.
Is it, though?
Not really. Let's move on to Ginger Pumpkins. What'd you guys say?
Okay, so I believe silly putty was invented when they were trying to invent a new kind of rubber.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was a wallpaper cleaner is Play-Doh.
And the answer is Play-Doh.
No.
Yay!
So close.
That's all right. That's all right, Jeff.
I should have eaten less of it as a kid.
No longer my silly buddy. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you did eat too much.
Friends to the end, you guys.
Yep.
All right. Number 7. If you were to see the 2016 Tony Award winner for Best Musical in the territory capital with the same name, what self-governing territory would you be in?
Best original musical or best revival?
Best original.
Okay. Shoot. What one?
Is it Hamilton? Or is that too...
No, that is it. Yeah, because it was Hamilton and then it was Dear Evan Hansen.
Okay.
So we know it's Hamilton, but which place is... got that as a capital. So he was born, what we said, Saint Nevis, I think is the name of it.
Okay.
But I don't know. Do you want to just guess Saint Nevis?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go with Saint Nevis.
So Neal was on the right path. He was like, can't be anything like too old. It's not anything
Right.
recently.
Last year was Dear Evan Hansen, which I just saw, which was awesome. So I was glad I got to see that live. Shout out to Liz Hudson, who told me that she loved it.
Right. And one of the things that I started to key in on was I knew Hamilton was the capital of the island of Bermuda, but I was like, Neal, is that too old? 2016, I can't remember how long it's been out. And he's like, no, that's the right answer. So we went with Bermuda.
And Bermuda is correct. Points for you guys.
Man.
I'm actually seeing Dear Evan Hansen tomorrow.
Are you?
So,
It's pretty heavy show, but the music's incredible.
Yeah. What's the capital of Dear Evan Hansen?
What's the cap?
Doesn't have one.
Sincerely me, capital Dear Evan Hansen.
Question 8. While generally seen as the most important figure in board games, Milton Bradley actually only created one game during his lifetime. What game was it?
Was he Monopoly or was he Life?
I feel like Monopoly. That is a Milton Bradley property, right?
I think so.
Okay, so that was developed by a woman who I can't remember her name. About 15 years before someone else got the idea, and then Milton Bradley bought it.
Okay.
And she got basically none of the credit and certainly none of the money. Is Clue a Milton Bradley one?
That's what I'm wondering. It's either who's Parker Brothers is the other big one, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember Parker Brothers properties. It's probably the game that sucks the most among the ones we've mentioned, because that would be the irony, right?
Yep.
And Matt always puts clues in there, and I don't know.
Well, Chutes and Ladders isn't. It could be Milton Bradley, but it wasn't developed by
That was
Milton
from
Bradley,
India, right?
Because that was an Indian game.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. It used to be called Snakes and Ladders?
It did.
Oh, wow. It's only been on our show 4 times.
Let's use that ladder to segue to our answer.
I mean, my gut went Clue. How do you feel about that?
The clue's fine.
Okay.
we just came up with our answer.
All right. Comfortably numb. You guys had quite a bit of discussion. What'd you guys come to?
Well, it felt like we took a lifetime over here to come up with our answer until we connected on
For an answer?
for an answer, and then Jeff came up. He had a clue, so then we decided, okay, it's Clue maybe.
Yeah. Said a lot of things there.
Yeah.
Ginger pumpkins?
So I am pretty sure Clue is Parker Brothers, because they're from Salem, and there's a house here that inspired them with a murder.
I didn't know that. We should have visited. What happened, Matt?
I was off that day.
So we went through a bunch of games. We weren't really sure, but we guessed the Game of Life.
All right, and the answer is the Game of Life.
We were right, but we were going Life or Clue, and Jeff chose Clue.
It was originally called the Checkered Game of Life and had spots where you could end up in poverty or even commit suicide. So it's a heavy game.
Wow.
It was originally apparently released in the winter of 1860, which was a pretty bleak time in American history, so not terribly surprised by that.
Wow, what a bleak game.
Yeah.
I guess the actual Game of Life is somewhat bleak sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, if they made a new one, it'd be like if you spun it and you got the job podcaster, you go right to poverty.
Yeah, right. That sounds about right. Yeah.
That's how it goes. Millennials Game of Life. How exciting.
Can you afford rent? Spin? Nope, can't afford rent.
Spent all your money on avocado toast and mimosas.
There it is.
All right. Moving on to question 9. Recently making the theme for an NXT TakeOver pay-per-view, this music artist has been described as a combination of Andy Warhol's pop accessibility, David Lynch's creepiness, and Tim Burton's zany comedic tone, and is much more known for her creepy YouTube videos. Who is this artist?
Oh, I did not watch the NXT Takeover. This is not good.
Well, I doubt it's unexpected YouTube sensation Rebecca Black.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh,
Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about now, but I would never pull her name.
Describe what she's like.
It's just what he said. It's just weird, like Andy Warhol, David Lynch. There's no way I'm going to come up with it. All right, we are in. If you need to talk,
We are so far from it.
Yeah, we went on rails. We're talking about Sondheim, so.
Oh, nice. Jeff clued in on someone. We could not come up with this person. I kind of can picture who it is, but Jeff came up with at least someone on YouTube that I had not seen.
Yeah, we went with. She's not a singer, but she is kind of goofy and fun. We went Elle Mills.
All right. Elle Mills from Comfortably Numb. So you guys went off the rails a little bit. Did you guys have an answer?
No.
No?
I guess Sondheim.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, this would be cult personality Poppy.
Poppy. Okay.
Nothing from anyone?
Right.
Oh,
no.
All right. Look up I'm Poppy. It's very weird.
PAPI?
Poppy.
POPPY.
Yep. All her videos have well over 10 million views.
So that means so now this is officially the date that we feel old on the podcast.
That's what I'm here for. Well, you are the oldest one in this room.
That's true. I am the oldest. Yeah, you're right.
A few months.
By a lot.
By a lot. Moving on to question 10. If you loosely combine the mottos of the state of Mississippi and a northeastern city, you get the title of this 1989 movie.
Oh, you're looking for like a city motto, though.
Yeah.
I don't. A motto or a nickname?
Nickname, motto, mostly nickname.
Oh, Beantown.
Beantown, brotherly love.
City of Brotherly Love. Yeah. Is Mississippi the Magnolia State? I'm trying to remember. Like
Steel Magnolias. Yeah, that might be 89.
Well, Pittsburgh is the Steel City.
We are locked in, by the way.
Okay.
Do we want to just go Batman?
Let's just go Batman.
All right, they are locked in with Batman. We have a different answer over here from you guys.
Matt let us linger on this one way too long.
Well, we're ahead of schedule, so it was fine.
It's true. So we went Steel Magnolia.
The answer is Steel Magnolias.
I have to know the city. Neil's got to know the film, so apologies where they are due.
All right. So let's end that round and bury it and never talk about it again. What are the scores after the first round?
30-30.
All right.
So if we put those together, that's a respectable score of 60.
Yeah, 30, good round.
30 for 30.
30 for 30.
All right. Before we get into the swing round today, if you're listening to our show and thinking, man, I'd like to listen to more episodes with people getting questions right, one way you can do that is become a Patreon subscriber because we have bonus episodes there. Jeff, why don't you tell the people about a few of the bonus episodes we've had recently?
Well, I think the one in recent history that I loved the most was we did one on lyrics that were impossible to understand.
Oh, it has a lot of really bad Pearl Jam singing on it.
It has quite a lot of bad Pearl Jam singing in it, and so that one was quite uproarious, and that was one of my recent favorites. What about you?
Yeah.
We did one where we looked through my scrapbook from 7th or 8th grade, or no, freshman year of high school. So
Right. My favorites are all the ones that I'm not on because I didn't have to be here.
I like Neal too much to admit that one is secretly my favorite, but
We can't feed his ego anymore. So if these are things that you might be interested in listening to, you could just head on over to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast and give us your money, right? Is that our slogan? If we had a slogan.
if we had a slogan, it would be Matt is reprimanded today.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to host anymore is what's coming down. So thank you for coming to my last episode.
This is Matt's swan song.
Yes, so we are going to move on to the swing round, which is going to be great because it's sports and you guys are going to love it.
Oh, no.
you can't make me.
So this swing round is called What Sport Is This? I'm going to name 3 teams and you're just going to tell me what sport they play. You can name the same sport multiple times, and a couple of these are on here a couple times. And these are all professional sports teams in various leagues.
Okay.
Number 1, the Hershey Bears, the Syracuse Crunch, and the Manitoba Moose. Number 2, the Aberdeen Ironbirds, the Eugene Emeralds, and the Birmingham Barons. Number 3, the Texas Legends, the Stockton Kings, and the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. Number 4, the Ohio Machine, the Buffalo Bandits, and the Calgary Roughnecks. Number 5, the New York Red Bulls, the Portland Timbers, and the Philly Union. Number 6, the Baltimore Blast, the Orlando Seawolves, and the St. Louis Ambush. Number 7, the Seattle Storm, the Indiana Fever, and the Minnesota Lynx. Number 8, the Birmingham Iron, the San Diego Fleet, and the Orlando Apollos. Number 9, the Toronto Argonauts, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the Calgary Stampeders.
I got one. Finally.
Number 10, the Clinton Lumber Kings, Batavia Muckdogs, and the Modesto Nuts. All right. So both teams are locked in. Not a lot of confidence I'm getting from these teams, but that's okay. It's a fun game, and we're having fun. And I can't stress that enough. You guys are having fun.
We signed a contract that says we're having fun.
All right, so let's start off with number 1, Bears Crunch and Moose. Comfortably numb, what'd you guys say?
We thought that was a kind of a football-sounding bunch of teams, so we said football.
Okay, Pumpkins.
We guessed hockey.
And it is a hockey team. Yep.
The
AHL. Manitoba's in the same division as the Rockford Ice Hogs that I've seen.
Oh, okay.
I
Local
have seen
team.
them, yes.
All right, number 2, we got the Ironbirds, the Emeralds, and the Barons. Comfortably.
We went baseball.
Okay.
We went football.
And it's the famous minor league team that Michael Jordan played on, the Birmingham Barons. Those are baseball teams.
That's why I had heard of that as a baseball team.
Did sound familiar. Okay.
All right. Number 3 was the Legends, the Kings, and the Mad Ants. Ants, A-N-T-S, not somebody's mom's sisters. Comfortably numb. What did you guys say?
We thought those were teams that sounded like they were soccer teams. So.
All right. Pumpkins?
We said basketball.
And they are basketball teams. They're in the G League, so they are the feeder teams for the NBA.
Okay. I like that we're trading jabs here. It's great.
A nice back and forth here.
This is like in wrestling when they each punch, one punch is like, oh. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. And maybe 7 other people.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. We got the Machine, the Bandits, and the Roughnecks. Comfortably numb, what'd you guys say?
We thought maybe those were hockey teams.
Okay. And Pumpkins?
We thought they sounded like rugby teams.
Well, you guys are actually kind of close. Not rugby, but these are professional lacrosse teams.
Okay.
Very popular in the Northeast region. A bit of a regional sports league.
I suppose lacrosse is getting more popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was
Buick caught on a while back, and
that Teen Wolf TV show. They played some lacrosse.
Oh, that's true. That was lacrosse. You're right.
Yeah, that's how I know it. All right. Number 5 was the Red Bulls, the Timbers, and the Union. Comfortably numb. What did you say?
We thought maybe it was a soccer team again. We kind of zeroed in on Union. We thought maybe that was a soccer team.
Okay. Pumpkins?
We also said soccer.
Those are soccer teams. Yep. New York Red Bulls are actually original MLS teams, have been around for a long time now. Number 6, the Blast, the Seawolves, and the Ambush. Comfortably numb.
We went with hockey.
Okay.
Sorry.
Pumpkins?
We thought that Blast and Seawolves sounded water themed, so we went with water polo.
And that would make a lot of sense, except these are indoor soccer teams. So soccer. There is an indoor soccer league in case the elements are too much for you. In Orlando, apparently. All right.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
You've ever been to Orlando
Yeah,
on any given day?
Very humid, you're right.
It's always terrible.
Yes, if you're waiting in line at Disney, very hot. Number 7, the Storm, the Fever, and the Lynx. Comfortably numb.
We said basketball. I thought the Lynx was a WNBA team. So
Okay. And Pumpkins?
We said baseball for this one.
And those are WNBA teams. Basketball.
yeah,
Wow.
All right. Number 8, the Iron, the Fleet, and the Apollos. Comfortably numb.
Pretty sure these are teams from the newly started AAF football league. So we went with football.
All right. Pumpkins?
We said baseball.
Yes, this was the inspiration for the whole round. These are from the new AAF, Alliance of American Football.
And we got to wait till the XFL comes. Then we got to hear what those team names are going to be. Or did they already announce them?
They just announced cities.
The cities.
They're not bringing them back?
I don't think so. They're going to have new names.
Okay.
New exciting names.
No Chicago.
No Chicago anything, so I don't care about it. Take that, XFL. Vince McMahon has enough of my money. All right. Number 9. We got the Argonauts, the Tiger Cats, and the Stampeders. Jeff, you zeroed on this one right away, I believe.
I did. We proudly lost a former Bears coach to a CFL team, and so I know these are CFL teams.
Mm-hmm. So football there. Pumpkins?
We said soccer.
And this one was football. All right, number 10. We got our Lumber Kings, our Muckdogs, and our Nuts.
The old Muckdogs and Nuts.
Now in the same can. How exciting. Comfortably numb, what'd you guys say?
Got to imagine a team that's proud of their lumber would be a baseball team. So,
all right, Pumpkins?
We said football.
And these were baseball teams.
Yeah. I looked up the Muckdogs logo after saying I would buy
awesome?
one. It is terrible. Apparently they're the Miami Marlins feeder team.
Mm-hmm.
And no, not interested. It's a terrible logo. Get back to me when you do a redesign.
Yeah, fix your logo, Batavia.
All right. Well, after the swing round, it looks like both teams gained a little bit of ground. The Ginger Pumpkins are up to 45 going into the second round and comfortably numb with 60.
All right. You guys ready to get into round 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Question 1. Nas's top 100 single, Got Yourself a Gun, released in 2001, contains a sample from this famous television show, which was in its 3rd season when the single was released.
Okay, we are locked in.
I was 6 years old.
Oh, no, we're old.
I have no idea.
Law and Order SVU.
Sure.
Bum, bum.
Did I think in 99, but we'll guess Law and Order SVU.
All right. Locking in with Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, Nas, one of the greatest MCs of all time, one of my favorites. I was feeling with The Sopranos.
The answer is The Sopranos. He takes the opening from the theme song. All right, let's move on to question 2. If Prince had an album named Purple Flame, it would most likely have a song titled Take Me With This Letter, as it's the symbol of the element that burns purple when lit.
Sulfur doesn't burn, though, right?
I think it does. Yeah.
I don't know why I wrote sulfur.
I mean, I've got no good guess, Neil, so I'm happy to go sulfur.
Sure. Okay.
Do we want to guess K? Since that's
Let's guess K.
Okay, we're going to go with K.
All right, locking in with K for potassium.
Oh, the fact that Matt knew that off the top of his head means we're probably wrong. Because we went sulfur.
And I know what K is. The answer is potassium. Potassium burns purple.
Potassium!
All right.
Can I quit the show mid-episode?
Moving on to question 3. One look at this artist's face, and you'll know the name of the rapper who was arrested in 2018 on racketeering, weapons, and drug charges. As of writing this question, the case is still pending. And I can't stress, look at the artist's face, and you'll know his name. Face and name.
Cool. I believe we are locked in. Because this is a really good story.
Does anyone have their name tattooed on their face? Well, there's that one guy.
Well, my first thought was Post Lamone just because he has so many face tattoos, but doesn't Wiz Khalifa also? Does he have his name on his face?
I don't know. There's that guy who's in custody right now for immigration stuff, but I can't think of his name.
Oh, yeah. But he's British, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
According to
who he
ICE.
is. I just heard that story.
Do you want to just throw it and say Post Malone?
Sure.
You know what's sad is there's so many rappers with face tattoos. There could be so many different people.
Yeah.
That's literally what I've been doing the last couple of minutes.
It's not just one guy, that's for sure.
Yeah, the only reason I knew this, and I mean, I'm glad I saw it, but it just makes me upset with myself. But on Snapchat, they have those news stories, and it was going, what's 6ix9ine gonna do with his new release? I'm like, he's not gonna do anything. He's gonna be in jail.
Oh.
So it's 6ix9ine, number 6 IX, number 9 INE.
I did hear about
Tekashi
this.
6ix9ine
Me
or
too.
Yeah.
T-star $6ix9ine. He has lots of names, and
He's going to have a lot more names in jail, that's for sure.
Now it's 21743. Good for him, though. He's making some money. The guy you were thinking about who's getting deported is 21 Savage.
Okay.
Because he is apparently British. Can you do a 21 Savage impression, Neil?
I don't even know who that is, but...
Spare some balls, Gov.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like Nigel Thornberry, like, Savage! But that's not. Like
They're both good. Question 4. While most people know that Lincoln was the president during the Civil War, who was the president that directly preceded him?
We're locked in.
I know it's who. It's Buchanan, right?
I have no idea. So I'm going to go with you.
We're going to say James Buchanan.
Okay.
Yep, we are also going with Buchanan.
All right. Points all around. James Buchanan. Well, that took a turn for the better.
Yeah. Hey, we're getting there. We're on the board. Both of us.
Question 5, another listener-submitted question. This one comes from our listener, Sarah Denson. Thank you for the letter. Well, not probably a letter. Email.
It was handwritten.
Oh,
it came in the post.
Electronic letter.
All right. Apparently a big dog fan, Sarah. Which type of dog has breeds called Scottish, Welsh, and Irish?
There's the Irish Wolfhound, which is the really big dog. Scottish. Yeah, maybe there's a Scottish Wolfhound. Scottish Terrier. Irish Terrier. Terrier's good.
I'm pretty sure it's Terrier.
Terrier?
Yeah, there's a lot of Terriers. There's like the Scottish Terrier. There's West Highland White Terriers. There's
Irish Terrier. Okay.
Setters. Are these setters? Terriers where my gut went.
Yeah, we said Wolfhound Terrier. We went with Terrier, so that's fine.
Terriers is a great show.
All right, we are in.
Yeah. Same.
We're in.
You like dogs?
All right, both teams locked in. Pumpkins, why don't you tell us what you know about dogs? Or you can tell us the answer. Or just talk about your favorite dogs.
Yeah, we talked about setters because we could think of Irish setters. We couldn't think of any other kind of setter. I have a Pembroke Welsh Corgi, but we couldn't think of any other kinds of Corgis. And we could think of Scottish Terriers, so we went with Terriers.
All right, locked in with Terrier.
Yeah, we kind of talked about my history when I was in 5th grade. We'd have library time, as they would call it, and I would only check out 3 books. It would be the Book of Horses, which I still haven't written. It would be the Hardy Boys / Nancy Drew books, and then it would be books about dogs. But that did not help us today because I could not remember any dog breed.
Oh, great anecdote.
But Jeff, on the other hand, knew about some breeds.
Yeah,
you're a breeder.
Well, you got your Snoops, your Bow Wows.
That's right. Those are all the dogs I know. And we too settled on Terrier. So
the answer is Terrier.
Well,
all right.
Yay.
So thanks again to Sarah for sending it. And if you have a question that you'd like to have us read, just send it over to trivialitypodcast@gmail.com. Put question 5 in the subject, and we will read it just like we did for Sarah and Tom.
Yeah, and one thing we do like is when you send questions that normally we're not good at in our specialties. So for me, anything but movies. For Jeff, anything but science. Matt, anything but sports. So that way we have a little help.
Yeah, because I could write sports questions, obviously, and nobody likes that anyway. So,
well, hey, this second round is shaping up to be
a little better.
Nice.
There.
Our best round today.
A nice comeback.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into question 6. What was the first movie by Pixar to receive a rating harder than G? It didn't go much harder, though, so don't.
R-rated Pixar movie.
It's NC-17.
We'll leave that to subreddits.
Well, there's The Good Dinosaur, there's Inside Out, there's Brave, there's...
Brave could be PG.
Yeah, I almost feel like Toy Story 3 could be PG. Isn't that one where everyone... I haven't seen it, but isn't that the one where everyone cries because it's like really depressing at the end, an adult with the fire and something?
It's not that depressing.
What other Pixar movies are we thinking of here?
Let's see. We could go through... well, you said Toy Story 3.
Yep.
We've got all 3 of the Cars movies. We've got Up. We've got WALL-E. We've got Ratatouille.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying Toy Story 3 for some reason because people like gravitated towards that one. But what do you think it is?
Neil, I had a thought.
Yeah.
There's 2 Disney Pixar movies we haven't talked about.
Okay.
One of them came out in 2004, and the other one came out in 2018, which would be The Incredibles.
Oh, it is The Incredibles. Yeah, because of the action.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to go The Incredibles.
We're going to go with The Incredibles.
And after those long tangents, they're locking in with The Incredibles. Pumpkins, what you guys say?
Dang it, Jeff. The Incredibles.
Yep. For the action violence, it was PG. Number 7. The German opera Fidelio, A Tale of the Cross-Dressing Lenore, is the only opera penned by this famous composer.
So Fidelio.
Is that did like Beethoven or Mozart do one?
Mozart did. It's not Mozart. He did Magic Flute.
Okay.
So that would take him off. Beethoven's possible, or is it Brahms or Wagner?
I thought Beethoven only did one, right? Well, Wagner had a whole bunch, right? I'm pretty sure it can't be because Wagner has a cycle.
Yeah, I'm good with Beethoven.
Okay.
That kind of sounds familiar, Fidelio.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know German composers.
I don't know composers.
You don't like the music?
It's Hans Gruber. You're right.
In my high school, we had a music listening class where once a week for 20 minutes, we would just listen to some composer. And I feel like probably whoever this is, I have heard it.
We're going to name an Austrian guy.
Okay.
Arnold.
I said Handel, so I think we're going to go with Handel.
Handel.
All right.
Okay.
Go in Handel.
Yeah, so Jeff and I were talking about first at Mozart, and we're like, no, he had the Magic Flute, which is a great musical or opera, excuse me. And then we said Wagner and Brahms, we believed, had a pretty rich catalog of.
Yeah, Wagner had the cycle.
Wagner had a lot.
Yeah, so we kind of ruled that out. And
Wagner?
I kind of faintly remember Beethoven only having one. So we went Ludwig von Beethoven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little throwback to the other dog question. The answer is Beethoven.
Beethoven's first.
And only.
That's good. Good work there.
Any thoughts on Beethoven, Matt?
No, it's not really my style. I was a Wagner guy.
You're
Obviously. There's two kinds of guys.
Is it Beethoven or a Wagner?
Yeah. Yep. Why don't we get a score update before we go to question 8?
All right, so forcing me to do some math here. It looks like in the second round, Team Comfortably Numb only missed one question so far, which is surprising me as I read it. So we've gained an extra 60 points there, and Team Ginger Pumpkins has an extra 40 points, bringing their score to 85 and ours to 120.
All right. I wanted to get some scores on there before you guys both missed this question about cricket.
Uh-oh.
Question 8. In a standard test cricket match, which is the longest form of cricket, how much time is set aside for the combined intervals of tea and lunch? So how much time do they get for tea and lunch in the middle of their game? And I'll give you within 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's probably a long time. The cricket games take forever.
It would be uncivilized to have less than 2 hours for tea and lunch?
Yeah. He's saying within 20 minutes, though. So is it 2 hours or is it 90 minutes? Tea, I would think, is probably 30 to 45 minutes. Lunch, probably an hour.
So within 20 minutes, 2 hours would be within 20 minutes of that? Okay.
Somewhere between hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Should we just split the difference and say hour 45?
Okay, sounds good.
So 105 minutes.
105. Yeah, Jeff and I were talking about, maybe lunch is an hour, tea maybe 30 to 45 minutes. So we also came around an hour, 45 minutes, and then we just said, well, maybe let's just say 2 to be safe because it's within 20. So we said 2 hours.
Okay, guys both went a little too high. They actually only get 1 hour total. They get 40 minutes for lunch and 20 minutes for tea.
That seems hurried.
Uncivilized for
That
tea.
is not enough time for tea.
And they're kind of set. The way that it works is it's set into 3 different sessions. They play for 2 hours, and they get a lunch break. Then they play for 2 more hours. Then they get their tea break, and then they play for 2 more hours. And this happens over 5 days. So,
well, we need 5 minutes to steep the tea.
Yeah.
We need 5 minutes for the milk and sugar. So it leaves only 10 minutes to enjoy it with conversation, which I don't think is enough.
With conversation. That's the important part of cricket.
It's the very civilized trash talking.
Now, when I wrote a question about the New Zealand rugby team, I got a lot of responses to that one. So I really did my research on this. So when I'm wrong about this, make sure you let me know again. But I really looked up a lot about cricket.
Would you like to set the record straight on the rugby?
Yeah,
front?
New Zealand, they are the All Blacks, and there's a different kind of rugby that I didn't even know about. And those are the Kiwis. Question 9. During World War II, the Germans used the Fischer-Tropsch method to produce this. Just a hint, Kevin Nash had nothing to do with it.
Oh,
that's a wrestling reference.
Okay. All right, we'll discuss, but I think I landed on it.
So you're looking at the Fisher-Tropsch method. What does it produce?
Kevin Nash's Big Daddy Diesel is his nickname.
Okay.
So diesel, I would think, right? Fuel?
So we're thinking it's something related to warfare in some way.
It sounds like it's something like, not like a gun, something more like gunpowder or something that needs to...
Some sort of explosive.
Yeah.
I don't have
let's just go with TNT, I guess.
All right. What did you guys come up with?
I told Jeff that Kevin Nash's nickname is Big Daddy Diesel, and he said maybe it could be diesel that they were refining or making.
Yep. The answer is diesel fuel. They're refining diesel.
And not of the Vin variety.
No. They were creating Vin Diesels in Nazi Germany. How upsetting. All right. Question 10. This song was the first rap song to hit #1 on Billboard's Hot 100, even as the artist was under pressure from lawyers for the song.
Yeah. You got it, Neil?
Yeah, we're like that.
All right.
Okay, I know it.
Okay.
Ice Ice Baby.
Yep.
Yeah, see, their song sounds like dun 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 dun.
But mine goes dun 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 dun.
Yep, the answer is Ice Ice Baby. And they were under pressure. And there's your clue. Good job, everybody. Getting some points.
All right. Well, after both rounds of regulation here, it looks like going into the final round, Team Ginger Pumpkins will have 95 points to work with, and Team Comfortably Numb will have 140.
Here are your categories. Number 1, breaking up is hard to do. Number 2, we could be heroes. Number 3, I fought the law. Number 4, I come from the land down under. And number 5, March of the Pigs.
All right. Our wagers are locked in.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
All right, question 1, breaking up is hard to do. Plus 44 and Angels and Airways were the two bands created when this band split up in 2005 when they couldn't resolve all the small things that were causing issues between two of the founding members.
There it is.
Number 2, We Could Be Heroes. In the TV show Heroes, multiple important scenes take place at a plaza named after this icon in the comics industry, which is more credit than he is usually given. Question 3, I fought the law. If Neal had committed a crime, and as punishment he was forced to sit in a room and watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy while Jeff and Ked provide running commentary, what amendment would have the judge just broken? Question 4, I come from the land down under. There have been 3 Australian citizens who have been drafted number 1 in the NBA. One of them had a famous injury, one thinks the world is flat, and one can't shoot from more than 6 feet but still puts up good numbers. Name any one of them. Question 5, March of the Pigs. This Midwestern city used to have the nickname Porkopolis, as it was the country's chief hog packing center, and wild pigs roamed the streets. Too bad there's no pork in its signature chili dish. It's really hard for me to read questions sometimes without accidentally emphasizing the clue in them. I apologize.
There's going to be some impressions galore coming, so just bear with me.
Everybody is locked in, so we're ready to get those answers. For number 1, plus 44 Angels and Airways came out of which band? Let's start with Comfortably Numb. What was your wager and what did you say?
Where are you?
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
That's so
I
bad.
cannot
You know what?
sleep. I cannot dream tonight.
I'm sorry to all the listeners out there who had to put up
We
with
said
that.
no singing
That's all right.
a long time ago.
That's Tom DeLonge, though. It's not
Yeah.
really singing. We went with 15 points on that one, and we went with Blink 182.
Would you also like to sing Pumpkins?
No, thank
No.
you.
I'm good.
What did you guys wager and what did you guys go with?
We wagered 5 and Blink 182.
All right. And the answer is Blink 182.
I sort of forgot about plus 44.
Nice.
But
That
I
was a
did
nice
kind of
call.
enjoy a couple of Angels and Airwaves songs. So
Yeah, when I read the question, I was really trying not to say resolve all the small things.
Yeah. When
Now-
he reread it, I just heard all the small things. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that's middle school dance. I
So
know
when
that.
we talk about, what was your age again? I don't remember. We talked.
I believe when I got the CD for plus 44, it was Travis Barker.
Yeah, it's Travis and Mark.
And Mark. And wasn't there a song that bam bam dun, I'm feeling it.
No, that's just a classic.
No, that's
classic
from the
Blink.
same. That's from the same album as.
Yeah, classic Blink self-titled.
What was their big single? Plus 44. It was like a decent song. I can't remember.
We'll
look
play
it
it
up.
on the way.
We'll look it up.
No, we won't because we don't want to pay them. All right. Let's move on to question 2. TV show heroes. What is that plaza named after a comics icon? Comfortably Numb. What was your wager and what did you say?
We wagered 15 again. I'm going to throw it to Jeff, but since she is a great comic, we did not go with the Aubrey Plaza. But Jeff, what did we,
I mean, my favorite plaza obviously is the Nakatomi Plaza,
Mhm.
but I really struggled. I really did like the first season of Heroes a lot. I binge watched it before that was a thing on DVD. The first weekend it was released there. And I can't remember, but we said Jack Kirby. He often got overlooked, so we said Kirby Plaza.
Okay. And Ginger Pumpkins. What was your wager? What did you say?
So we wagered 5 points on this one. And we were not familiar with the show, so we weren't sure. But we guessed Stan Lee. Beth said that she thought he maybe wasn't credited all of the time, so we went with Stan Lee.
All right. Stan Lee, the man who's taking all the credit for this comic. Jack Kirby. The answer is Jack Kirby.
Oh, it is? Oh, what a guess. What a guess.
Disappointing my dad again.
Stan Lee gets the credit, I believe, most of the time, right?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Because he invented Spider-Man by himself with no help from anyone.
It can't be Mosquito Man. It can't be Fly Man. Oh, sorry.
All right. Question 3. So this is Neal watching Lord of the Rings against his will. What is this cruel and unusual punishment? Comfortably Numb. What was your wager? What did you say?
Jeff?
We wagered 15 on this one, and we couldn't remember which one was Cruel and Unusual Punishment. We're glad it's in there, but we guessed number 6.
Okay. And Pumpkins.
We guessed number 7.
All right, how much did you wager?
5.
5. Unfortunately, no points will be given and some taken away because the answer is the 8th Amendment. You guys were so close.
So
We're
close.
leading up to it.
If we had one more team, they would have gotten that right. I believe.
You're probably right. I think so too.
All right. Thank you for thinking that. All right. Question 4. We got 3 Australian citizens going number 1 in the NBA draft. Can you name any one of them? Comfortably Numb. What was your wager? What did you say?
We wagered 15, and since Luke Longley was on the Bulls, local team here, we knew that might be an answer. We just didn't know if he went number 1. And then Jeff and I were talking about the fact that Kyrie Irving is a flat earther, and we kind of remember some rumblings that he was a dual citizen. So we went with Kyrie Irving.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, I feel so bad about myself.
All right.
Because he lives in Boston, and we were trying to think of the flat earther because we both felt like we knew who that was, but we couldn't place the name. So we ended up going with Kangaroo Jack, and we bet 5 points.
5 points there. Yes, noted flat earther, was born in Melbourne in 1992. Kyrie Irving. The other 2 was Andrew Bogut, who got his arm stuck in the rim and kind of had his arm pulled out of his socket. It was really gross. Don't look it up.
Ooh.
And the person who can't shoot is Ben Simmons, and he's pretty good. He's on
Bogut was the
76ers.
other one I remembered, but I couldn't get the name.
Big Australian.
Bogart? Humphrey Bogart?
Yes.
Bogut.
His son, who was born in Australia. What a story.
Nice shooting, kid.
All right, let's talk about some chili. Question 5. Midwestern city used to have the nickname Porkopolis. What was the city, and how much did you wager? Comfortably Numb.
We went 15 again, just like we did for the preceding 4. Neal and I were discussing. Neal had brought up, he's like, well, Cincinnati's famous for their chili. And he's like, hear me out. Louisville has a big pork festival every year. So he's like, well, what do you think? And I was like, well, I feel like it's easier to move pigs in and out of a city if you're on the Great Lakes. So we settled on Cincinnati.
All right. And Ginger Pumpkins, what was your wager? What did you say?
5 points, and we went with Cincinnati as well because of their chili.
All right. Having that delicious chili, the answer is Cincinnati.
Although the logic is
Woohoo!
completely wrong, Neal, because I'm pretty sure Cleveland is on the Great Lakes, and I think Cincinnati is on a river.
Yes, but
Yeah.
But never mind.
Cincinnati had pigs roaming free for quite some time.
All right. Well, it looks like after the scores have been tabulated, Team Ginger Pumpkins ended the game with 90 points. And Team Comfortably Numb with 185. So we're today's cream of the crop.
I am the cream.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Great job, guys.
I refuse to cheer for us.
Oh, why? You guys did just fine.
It was a pretty close game.
I always root for the underdog.
It was my Jekyll and Hyde game where you guys got through the first round and did a little better in the second round. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we ended the second round. We answered a lot of questions. It got a little bit easier, and then it just kind of pulled away there in the end. But worthy competitors, thank you so much, both of you, for playing today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you guys so much for being on the show. Theo, why don't you tell the listeners where they can find your show?
Yeah, so our podcast is called Freaky Franchise. It is on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and then freakyfranchise.com. And Facebook is probably the best way to find out more about us. So that's facebook.com/freakyfranchise.
Awesome. And a great show. Make sure you guys check it out. And Beth, why don't you tell people where they can find your company?
Yeah, go to fit4mom.com. The 4 is the number 4. If you are pregnant or have little kids or have big kids, you can come work out with us. We're all across the country, so come check us out.
All right, guys, thanks so much for being on the show. Before we go, I just wanted to ask you guys, if you haven't yet, maybe give us a review on iTunes. We're up to 120. We're on our way to 150. I believe about a year ago I promised we'd give you something if we got to 150, so we're so close. Yeah, we're going to do that raffle. You get a shirt, maybe? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think so, or something undetermined, something other than a shirt possibly. But speaking of the crop as well, our Facebook group, I feel like we're getting up there in the numbers. We're almost at 400. Yeah. So just tell your friends, come join the crop, discuss.
Yeah, so one of us, right?
Yeah.
So join on in.
Yeah. Well, actually, we should probably like the page.
Yeah. Oh, that would get us to 500. I think. And all of our burner accounts, and we'll get all the way up there.
So speaking of Lord of the Rings and putting me in some sort of torture, what I would do is put Jeff, Matt, and Ken in a room to watch Harvey over and over again, and it would be me doing all of Jimmy Stewart's lines. Well, Harvey, I could go all day. I'm going to do Jimmy Stewart one day, just all of it.
That really wouldn't bother me.
That'd be a wonderful Patreon bonus episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good note to leave on. So for our guest, for Jeff, for Neal, my name is Matt, and that was Triviality. Who is Lex Luthor in those movies?
That was Kevin Spacey. Well, Kevin Spacey was Superman Returns. Man of Steel.
That's why I can't remember it.
Yeah, Man of Steel didn't have Lex Luthor.
Fair enough. All right.
Well, Jesse Eisenberg in Batman vs. Superman.
There you go.
Yeah.
A perfect Lex Luthor, everyone said. And agreed.
Yeah, the whole internet agreed.
100% approval rating.